how's everyone doing today? So for today's video, I want to do something a little different. I'm having a hard time getting into the Christmas spirit and everything, you know. Times are hard, especially with only one person working in the home, and, you know, it's been a little hard for me, and I'm sure it's been the same for you guys. And also, I'm having a terrible hair day. I have crazy hair everywhere, so that's what you're seeing here. But anyway, so what I will do sometimes when I'm trying to get myself in a better mood, or, you know, as of right now, trying to get myself in a better mood and into the Christmas spirit, is I go to my go-to feel-good makeup. And I will, you know, get myself dressed, and, you know, I'm trying to, you know, get into the red and everything. So I'm going to be using all of my feel-good makeup, all the stuff that I know that when I put it on, it'll look good on me. Because, you know, obviously I got a bunch of stuff going on still with my face, and it's been a little chaotic, but I'm getting there. So, yeah, I'm just going to get started. I am going to be using my Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer along with my NYX Pore Filling Primer, because I know these two together are a great combination for my skin personally. And I also put this on my eyelids. I know I said it before, which I'm a little upset. I actually just started hitting pan on my Tatcha Silk Canvas just right now. I don't know if you can see it, but right there in the very middle there's a white spot, and that is the bottom of the pan. That's upsetting. But it did last 6 months. I look funny. Anyway, so there's that. So I'm just going to rub this in with my hands. I love the smell of this stuff. It's amazing. And it feels so good on your skin. Move on to my Pore Filling Primer. Now that I feel like I have covered my face in primer good enough, I'm going to move on to my foundation. So for foundation today, I'm going to be using my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation, and mine's in the shade 371C Classic Beige. It's this foundation. Sorry, I got primer all over the lid so you can see it, but and this is almost like a perfect match for my skin. I think on camera it looks a little light, but it's really not. Sorry, I'm trying to look at my mirror. It's behind my camera. It's the way my setup is. It's a little unconventional than what most people have, but my camera stand, well, my phone stand, is actually on a suction cup to my mirror, which I really never saw anybody do before, but, you know, it's a thing I do. And it works for me, so I'm just going to blend this out real quick. And I forgot how much I like this until the other day when I did the foundation video. I actually used this foundation that day, and my skin looked amazing. I had so many compliments on my makeup. So I figured I'll revisit it. It made me feel good the other day, so it's going to be my feel good today. Now, I'm going to do my eyelid primer right now because I want to get that done before I do concealer, because I'm not using my concealer. My favorite eyelid primer is the Luscious Angel Eyes right here. I got it in a BoxyCharm. And the reason why I'm doing this now is because I don't want to mess up my concealer once I get that on. Sorry, I got it around my eye. Had to blend it. For concealer, I'm going to be using my NYX Ultra HD right here. And this is in the shade CW02 Fair. And it's a little light for me, but I like it sometimes. I'm not going like too overboard with it. I mean, for some people this might look like overboard, but it's really not. It's a very thin consistency concealer, so you kind of have to use a little bit more. But it does dry down very fast, so, you know, you kind of got to work fast with it. Which means less talking, more applying and blending. So now that that's all blended in, I am going to use my cream concealer. And it's the, what is it? Rimmel Lasting Finish Breathable, and it's in the shade 600 Dark. And I'm just going to try to throw a little contour in with this, because it looked really good the other day. and I really didn't do anything special with it. I was actually in a hurry when I did it. And it came out so much better than when I actually tried. So, you know, I'm kind of just going with it. I'm just using a little bit, nothing crazy, no crazy amounts here. Gonna blend this in. And I always blend this in circles. I don't know what it is with it. Just for me, it makes the application so much better. When you have baby hairs like me, you gotta be careful, especially if you're keeping them down like I am today, which my hair looks so lopsided. It's really even. It's just not working out for me, like I said. My hair did not want to agree. Now that everything's blended, I am going to make sure there's no creasing underneath my eyes, which I don't think there is with this NYX. There's a tiny bit of creasing, but nothing too crazy. So I'm actually going to use my Maybelline Fit Me loose powder. And a mix of that and my Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contour palette here, which I really like this powder for underneath my eyes. It gives me like a real smooth finish. So I am going to make sure I don't have any creasing. So I'm going to take my little brush for now for designated spots like underneath my eyes. And I always try to look up while I'm setting my concealer, depending on, you know, if I'm talking to you guys or not. So now I'm going to use the loose powder also. Because I feel like that just brightens a little bit more than the Wet n Wild. But the Wet n Wild one is a great powder. I really like how smooth it looks when I use that powder. I just need to brighten up just a little bit more today because I feel like I have extra dark circles. And obviously, like that, you can see there. Only when I turn sideways, it's because of that pimple and it makes that whole area swell all the way up to my eye. And now I'm going to switch to a bigger brush just so I can, you know, make this go by a little quicker. For the middle of my forehead. And all the areas I want to keep lighter. Like this is one of my go-to brushes for anytime I want to make things go a little quicker. So I'm set my neck too because I did bring the foundation down to my neck. Alright. So now that I'm done with setting, I am going to start to bronze, and I'm gonna use the dark side in this, and I'm probably gonna end up switching it off to something else. I'm not sure, because this is just like more of a contour shade. This is actually, for me, this is a dupe for the Benefit Hoola Matte Bronzer, the darker one. I really feel like this is almost the same thing. Like that's, if I use one on one side, one on the other, you won't see the difference. So like I said, I'm only contouring with this. I'll bronze up the rest of my face with something else. Now I'm going to bronze up the rest of my face with my Physician Formula Butter Bronzer, and I use it in the shade Deep Bronze. I may not look like it, but I'm a lot more tan than I look on camera. I'm just warming up my face here. I don't use a lot of blush. I only use a tiny bit of blush, so I warm that area where you put your blush with the bronzer also. Bring it up here. And these little hairs that don't want to agree, just push them back for now. If you have a big forehead like I do, If you bronze your forehead, it won't look as big, obviously. I know this kind of seems like extra steps, but like you can actually see the depth of my face, like up here, from that first contour shade I used, and then now using the bronze, you can see the warmth in my face. So, like if you were to go back and look before I put this on, you'll see the difference. So now that I'm all bronzed, contoured, set, everything else, I am going to move on to blush real quick. My Feel Good blush is my Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-hour blush in the shade Party. Right here. I think it's actually a sample size. I got it from Sephora Play a long time ago, before I canceled them. I'm just adding a little bit. I keep it kind of high. And I don't add too much. And that's about all I use for blush. This little devil right there is going to be the death of me. Alright. So now that I'm done that, I am going to spray something to set this for now. And I'm going to use a hydrating... Now, you know what? I'm going to use my Smashbox So Chill Coconut Primer Water. Just because I feel like for having the makeup sink into my face, I prefer to have something like that Smashbox Primer Water or MAC Fix Plus. I actually might do something a little different that I normally don't do. I think I'm going to do my brows first while my face is drying. And I'm going to be using my Maybelline Tattoo Studio Brow Gel right here. But I'm going to be using it on my spoolie and little brow brush. I'm going to spoolie through them real quick. Which I always brush them up because my brows do not like to go up. They always go down or straight out. The one thing that I will say with the Wet n Wild foundation is if you have it in your eyebrows at all, you will notice it until you do your brows. So if you're not somebody who does your brows, I would be very conscious to know that it's going to affect your brows. Like they will look like they have makeup caked in them. So that's one of the foundations that does that. I don't know if that's a big thing for anyone else. It bothers me sometimes, but I have to obviously fill in my brows because I don't have them. This one's actually looking not too bad, but this one is horrendous. We'll see what I can do. So I underline it first just to get that, you know, the idea of where I want my brow to be. Then I do upward strokes in the front, like hair strokes, but with the brush, like I keep it sideways like this, and I brush up right here to kind of try to fill that. And my eyebrows are a process, so I'm probably not going to film the whole thing. I'm going to do my brows. Obviously, I'm going to have a hard time with this one. I'll be right back. Alright, so now that my brows are done, I am going to be using my Jaclyn Hill, the big palette. It is one of my absolute favorite palettes ever. Sorry, I'm trying to finish my coffee before it's too cold. And I'm just going to go into my normal colors, like these browns. Sometimes I use a yellow. I use these browns here. Nothing too crazy. I have some individual eyeshadows I want to use, like my Maybelline New York ones. I have a little Smashbox one right here. This is in the shade Cinnamon. Very pretty color. I have the Bon Voyage. I got this in an Ipsy actually years ago. And it's in the shade Wilka Woman, I do believe. So I'm going to, you know, mix and match different eyeshadows just because they make me feel good and I want to. So I'm going to go into these two shades together to be my first transition color. Actually, you know what? I'm going to zoom these in a little bit more. Let's see. Alright, that should be good. So I just mix these two colors, tap off a little bit, put it right in my crease, trying to keep it higher because I'm not going to deepen my eye, like the outer edge of my eye. I'm going to keep it all up here because I'm going to do a full lid of shimmer today, which I rarely ever do. I think these two shades together would be an amazing bronzer color, honestly. These are my two favorite shades, and I have used them as a bronzer, and they've came out very nice. Like this palette I've actually used as a full face of powder products, like bronzer, highlight, contour, blush. Like I've used all these colors for different, you know, spots on my face, and it's actually worked out very well. I mean, if that's something you'd like to see me do in a video, I think it'd be something that's pretty cool. So I can do that for you also. Oh, I just want to get into the Christmas spirit. I'm so worried about not having everything that my kids deserve for Christmas, and, you know, being a mess this year. And I worry every year. Like, it's not something that, it happens no matter what. I always worry. But this year with me not working, it's been like totally chaotic, and I am even more worried this year than I've been any other year. Anyway, back into the light stuff. I'm going to tap into this shade right here. It's a very pretty bronzy color also. On just a different little fluffy brush. And I'm going to put this directly in my crease. Just to give some depth to that. I'm kind of bringing this up and out like so. For my lid shades today, now I'm going to swatch these for you so you can see why I've been having such a hard time figuring out what shades to use. I figure I'm going to use more than one. So this is the Wilka Woman right there, which is a beautiful, like, coppery but brown shade. And then this is my favorite gold, the Maybelline Single, which this one's actually getting more powdery as I have it. I think it was already, you know, probably coming close to expiration with when I had bought it. Wow, look at that. Because it was on sale for like $1 or 80 cents, I think, something like that. Here's the Smashbox color. So I've been conflicted between these three colors to use for my lid shade. So I think I might actually go with, I think I'm going to use this on the outer part, and then I'm going to use this on the inner, and I'm going to blend it together with that one. I think it might actually look really nice that way. So when you see this on my hand, you know what it is. So Wilka Woman on the outer part. And I'm actually going to use my Smashbox brush for this. I haven't used this like forever. But my little palette. I'm just using my little Jaclyn Hill palette to use the mirror in it because it's a small palette and it won't block my view here for you guys. I'm just going to pack this on the outer V of my eye. I think it's a very good choice. I like the color a lot. Yeah. I think this would actually make a nice bronzer also. That's crazy. Even though it's a, you know, a shimmer shade. Well, it's more like a satin. So it would be like a satin bronzer. I might actually have to try that so I can use it up before it's bad. So there's the first shade. Then I'm going to use the Smashbox shade in the middle. It's a beautiful color. I really like that. I've actually never used this, I don't think. Maybe once, maybe. I think I swatched it more than anything. I'm going to use this in the middle. This color here is very smooth, but there is some fallout with it. Wow, look at that color. It's beautiful. You know what? I'm going to bring this color all the way in. I think I want this all over my lid. Sorry, there's an officer going by. Or an ambulance. Ambulance. Alright. So I'm actually going to bring this color all the way in. I do have quite a bit of fallout on my face right now. Sorry, I didn't mean to block you as I was trying to look. So I am going to have to brush that away. What is that? Hair? I am going to have to brush that away in a minute. But I really do like this color. I didn't think I cared for it too much when I swatched it after I got home with it, and I do. Let me see. Maybe I'll do underneath my eye real quick first. So for underneath my eye, it's just going to be the same shades. I'm going to take a flat definer brush. If I find it, here she is. Take my, I had to clean it, sorry. My flat definer brush into the darkest shade I used right here. You see where my middle finger is right there? Just out here though. I don't want it to be like, you know, even halfway in. I don't want it to be a quarter of the way, just the outer V. That's all, the only place I'm putting that. Same thing over here. And then I'm just going to take a pencil brush. Alright, take a pencil brush like this. I'm going to go into these first two shades I used. And I'm just going to blend this underneath. Like that. Alright, so that's all I'm doing for that. Set these down. I'm going to pause you guys and put on my liner and mascara, which for my eyeliner, my go-to feel-good eyeliner, is my little teeny tiny Wet n Wild eyeliner I have. This was a large one. It was a regular size, but I've used it down to this. And then I'm going to use a mix of my Wander Beauty Unlashed and my Soap & Glory Fast and Thick, or Thick and Fast mascara, and I'll be right back. Alright, so now that my lashes are done, I put on mascara, my eyeliner, and all that. I want to do an inner corner highlight. And I'm sitting here thinking, what can I use for an inner corner highlight that will pop? Like, I don't know if this is not gold enough or if it's going to mess it up, and I'm kind of afraid I'm going to mess it up. But, I mean, look at that color. I mean, that color right there is so glittery and amazing. Like, I thought about tapping it on my eyelid, but I really like the way it looks, so I think I'm going to have to go natural. That kind of sucks. I really wanted to make it, like, really stand out. I don't know how many times I can say really, but you guys know it's, like, one of my favorite words. Anyway, I am going to do my usual, the Nomad and probably the Jaclyn Hill mini palette here that I have, the Armed and Gorgeous. I like that white shade up here. So I think I'm going to do a mix of that white for my inner corner and my brow bone and that Nomad. I really want to get creative and do like a golden inner corner and then kind of bring that down into the like front part of my eye, but I don't know, I decided not to, just in case and it would mess it up and mess up my whole video because of it. So, ooh, that's a bright color. Do this right here. And I just take it as close to my brow as possible. I don't want to make any of my bad spots on my brow stand out. Like, sometimes I think this takes away, like, takes the focus off of how bad your brows are, but sometimes I feel like it accentuates how bad my brows are. So, and I bring it all the way in to the front of my brow. It's not like crazy noticeable there, but I feel like it just lifts up my brow just a little bit more. And now I'm going to use that Nomad little tiny thing I got from Ipsy right in the very middle of the arch of my brow and in my inner corner. There we go. And this just takes it from the white color that that highlight is to a pink, but it makes it stand out twice as much as it did before. So, and now it matches my eye look a little bit better than, you know, that bright white would. Anyway, get out of that. I'm going to be using a mix of highlighters today because this is my feel-good stuff, and I love this Hard Candy highlight kit. It's the Just Glow Baked Highlighting Trio. This beautiful color. Hopefully it's going to do justice here. You can see it on my finger. It's like a nice champagne-y, and then this one's like a bronzy right here. So I'm going to use the champagne-y one. Maybe use this and my Precious Petals. I'm not sure. I think I might just stick to this today because it is a beautiful highlight color. And so I have hair on my face. And for my skin tone, it's like the perfect color. You can make it totally blinding, or you can make it, you know, just a little bit. Like right there, just a tiny bit of a hint of a glow right there. And then go over it another time or two, and it'd be like blinding in your face, crazy highlight, which I love when my face looks better. Which today, I mean, even though I have all the blemishes, all the pimples I have right now, it doesn't really bother me. I think that my makeup came out nice because it's my feel-good makeup. Like, this is the makeup that I go to when I'm having a terrible day and I just want to do something with myself to not feel as bad. And this is the makeup I go to. Like, these are my favorites. These are the ones that I stick to. Normally for foundation, I would be doing the Too Faced Born This Way because that is my very favorite foundation ever. But for today's video, I mean, I kind of kept everything drugstore, even though it wasn't on purpose. But yeah, I mean, it's my favorites. It's cheap and it's beautiful and I love the way that it looks. Like, I can get close. It doesn't look any different from close up to far away. And I like it. I like how it looks and I think I look nice like this. So I still have to do my lips and I am going to stick to the Stay Matte by Rimmel right here. I don't really have a matching liner, so I'm just going to put this on. It is like the perfect pinky nude for my skin tone. So if you're close to my skin tone, you should really try this out. The color is Pink Blink. It's shade 200. It is just perfect. I love it. And if it is a little bit too pink for you, you can just throw a regular, like a beige nude, a little bit of it on top of it, or a gloss, and it'll tone down the pink right away. I'm trying to line my lips with the applicator. There we go. So for a topper for this, I am going to use my Wet n Wild ColorCon lip gloss, and this is a gold one. It's in the shade Gemini, sorry. It's a Gemini one. I don't know why I didn't just look at the cap. There you go. And it's beautiful. And that just tones the shade down a little bit and gives you a little bit of a shine to your lips. And then if you want to do something more than that, if you want a gloss that'll match that a little bit, you can get the L'Oreal Paris Havana Camila Cabello glosses. This is my favorite one. It looks like the Fenty Beauty Lip Balm or whatever it's called. And that just puts a little bit of a gloss over it. So this is my completed look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And let me know in the comments, do you guys have any feel-good makeup or any of your, I guess some people call them, you know, their ride or dies or their whatever it is. But this is the stuff that I know that works for me. This is the stuff I use when I need to uplift myself and feel better about myself. So if you guys have any of them items and you want me to use them or you want to let me know about them, just comment it. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys.